Survival was forefront in their mind, and the fact they hadn't won at Celtic Park in 11 years, though, means the odds were stacked against them. Here's Rob McLean.
Martin O'Neill says same again to the team which took Celtic to the brink of the title with Wednesday's win here against Dundee. Tommy Johnson continues up front in the absence of the suspended Chris Sutton. Here's the familiar shape of the team, which has barely changed all season. Notable names missing apart from Sutton are the still injured Bobby Petta and long-term absentee Stilian Petrov. Boyd and McNamara are on the bench. St Mirren make 3 changes from the team which drew with Dunfermline last Saturday. Mark Yardley, Tommy Turner and Stephen McGarry are left out. In come Sergei Boltacha, Jose Kitongo and 19-year-old Stephen McPhee on loan from Coventry. Here's how Tom Hendry sets St Mirren out for their last game before the SPL split. For them, a lot will hinge on how the back 3 perform. That's Barry McLaughlin, Scott Walker and Jamie McGowan. And the referee for Celtic against St Mirren is John Underhill. The Celtic supporters are preparing to party, and one more victory will do it. It started last summer, July the 30th at Tannadice, when Celtic beat Dundee United by 2-1, and their title charge could be concluded this afternoon in Martin O'Neill's first season in charge. St Mirren plan to be party poopers if at all possible. They desperately need points to try to keep their Premier place, but Martin O'Neill wants the job done this afternoon. He wants it finished off before the league splits in 2. And so much, in terms of the facts and figures, goes against St Mirren. 66 points there are between these 2 teams going into this match. Larsson, neat touch, Paul Lambert. And that was a good challenge by Ricky Gillis. He tracked back as Lambert got himself into the penalty box. That's a well-paced pass. Henrik Larsson. Tommy Johnson trying to get the pass away for Lambert. Interception by Scott McKenzie. McPhee held off Vega. That's a useful pass. Ricky Gillis. Support from Kerr. And the dipping effort from Gillis. He's St Mirren's top scorer. One more will take him to double figures. And he felt quite entitled here to have a crack at goal. It just wouldn't dip quite quickly enough to trouble Douglas. Lennon finding some room. Moravcik and Lambert. Into the feet of Larsson. Away from Walker, but only as far as Paul Lambert. He's in behind Walker, driven across and turned behind by McLaughlin. Could so easily have been an own goal. Good skills here from Lambert through the legs of Walker, and this was a difficult one to defend. And Barry McLaughlin did what he had to do. The left foot in swinger from Alan Thompson, and there was Johan Mjalby. Couldn't quite get over it. If he had done, Celtic would have been 1-0 up. And St Mirren will be alarmed that they didn't get enough of a challenge here. Mjalby won it pretty cleanly. Johnson. Lambert shifted quickly wide to Moravcik. Larsson and Johnson trying to find room in the middle, but still it's Moravcik on his left foot, powerfully struck and solidly saved by Ludovic Roy at the expense of a corner kick, but he won't mind too much because this was a threatening situation. In comes the corner kick. Somehow it stays out. Vega and Mjalby were both a massive presence there in the St Mirren penalty area, but neither could get the crucial touch which put that in the back of the net. It was touched by Roy onto the head of Mjalby and it clipped off the outside of the post. A driven pass by Fenton. Struggling to cope though with the physique of Vega. He was so strong there. Moravcik on his left foot. You sensed the danger. The minute he managed to find half a yard of room, and you knew exactly what was in his mind here. Struck it well, but it fizzed wide of the post. And Ludovic Roy was happy to see it on its way. Again, Fenton playing his way into trouble. Through from Lennon. And Tommy Johnson! Good save by Ludovic Roy. And Graham Fenton would have been the villain for St Mirren had Johnson scored there. It was a great chance. Again, it's Thompson who's threatening. Moravcik to Agat. Testing out Chris Carey's got beyond him. That's a good ball back in. And a vital header from McLaughlin, because Henrik Larsson was hanging in the air behind him, just waiting. This is exactly what St Mirren can't afford to do, is relinquish possession so easily. And this could so easily have been the opening goal for Johnson. What a good save by Roy. Lennon for Lubo Moravcik. So easy. The reverse pass for Johnson! So close. Superb skills here from Moravcik, the set-up man, and look how close that was to breaking the deadlock. A perfectly played reverse pass from Moravcik, and this just about clipped the post on its way wide. Well, the VIPs are queuing up to see this one. Moravcik is a live wire for Celtic in this first half. Thompson to Johnson. Again Moravcik. Now Lennon. Squared for Johnson. Good save. He's been an important player, and you got the feeling pretty much he would have to be. And this is another good stop from St Mirren's French keeper, stretching out his right hand to deny Johnson again. Corner kick, and Moravcik with it. Scott Walker won it well. Flicked away by Fenton, but only as far as Lennon. Pressure stays on. Agat. And that was a good chance. It was a beautifully delivered cross, this. Moravcik on the end of it. He was pretty much unchallenged with the header, and he tried to steer it into the far corner. It was a late challenge from Kitongo, and maybe that was enough. Gillis under a lot of pressure from both Lambert and Larsson. And now Larsson with a chance. He's away from Roy. It's a difficult angle. And Ludovic Roy gets back to make the save. It looked as if Larsson had done the trick here, but he took the ball very wide. And it needed to be played in with a bit more pace to have had a chance of beating the keeper. Corner kick, an off trick with it. Njalbi on the end of it. No danger this time for St Mirren. Kitongo's pass, and Graham Fenton inside his own half, obviously onside. This could wreck the script, but not with a finish like that. Well, maybe Graham Fenton could barely believe his luck here. He wasn't picked up, and he was very much onside. And he'll be so disappointed here that he's failed even to hit the target. To Lemon. A lot of space in front of him. Waiting for movement. It comes from Agat. Gets in ahead of Kerr. And almost an own goal off McGowan. A wry smile on the face of Jamie McGowan, who didn't really know an awful lot about where this was going. It was superb stuff from Agat because he was powerful and pacey enough to get away from Chris Kerr, and that was a dangerous ball in. Patrick's corner kick, spilled by Roy. So the chance for Vega is spilled as well. And the first mistake from the St Mirren keeper, and it could have been costly, but he goes unpunished. Maybe he deserves a bit of luck. Njalbi's throw. Vega's the target. In goes Johan Njalbi again and again. Tom Henry will be pretty satisfied with the scoreline. He knew it was going to be one-way traffic to a great extent. Larsson. Set up for Tommy Johnson. Well, he took his time, but Celtic are off and running. 7 minutes from half-time, and finally the breakthrough. This was so easy for Henrik Larsson. He found himself with an awful lot of room. Tommy Johnson looked as if he should have taken that first time. He took a touch, but it proved to be the right decision as his shot crashed in. Ludovic Roy tried to deny him again, but this time there was no stopping Johnson. The shot under the goalkeeper, and despite the best efforts of Jamie McGowan, into the back of the net. 1-0 Celtic, and I wonder if even he thought he'd made the wrong decision here as the ball ran under his boot. But what a recovery to drive the ball under Roy and into the net. That's the half-time whistle, and Celtic on course for the title party. Tommy Johnson with the goal which separates the sides, set up by Larsson, and despite that deadly delay, drilling his shots into the net, and that is the difference in terms of the scoreline, although Celtic have dominated the match. Celtic 1, St Mirren 0. Celtic have won their last 14 league games. If they can make it 15, championship glory is theirs. And yet another record is under threat, because 14 unbeaten, or 15 as it seems certain to be by the end of the afternoon, is getting dangerously close to the 17 record set up in 67-68 by the great Celtic team of that era. Could well be a season of records being obliterated. Didier Agatz moving into overdrive. Wide of Walker. Alan Thompson. The top of the crossbar. Good ball in from Agatz. Thompson was stretching. Lennon won it against Gillis. That's another good challenge from Walker. Stephen McPhee is quick. He's away from Vega. Out comes Douglas to make a good save. That's his first involvement in the game. 6 minutes into the second half, Rob Douglas, but he had to be alive to what was going on there. And that was all down to sheer pace from this man. McPhee. Kitongo to Baltacha. Encouraging moments these for St Mirren. Gillis. McPhee again. Ricky Gillis on his right foot. Shot deflected off Neil Lennon. And Douglas gets there before it reaches the goal line. But this was a sprightly attack from St Mirren. And Vega was surprised by the speed of Stephen McPhee. Morton Vikhorst and Alan Stubbs alongside Olivier Tebele. And they will be as delighted as anyone if there's a successful outcome for Celtic here. McNamara again. Corner kick this time. Off Kerr. Alan Thompson eyeing the penalty box. His left foot. Walker's header. Moravchik on the volley. Now Vega and Agatz and a scramble. And it's grabbed by Roy. No one really got much of a contact on this for Celtic, as various attempts were made to hook the ball in. Laid off by Larson from Moravchik. Drifting out wide, Agatz. Larson! Not far away. You would imagine that Henrik Larsson would have a part to play on the script on a day such as this. Just wide from him here, supplied by Gat, the deftest of touches. A late change, Valharan off. Boyd on for the last 15 minutes. Ahead of Vega. Lennon steers his pass towards Moravchik. That's for McNamara. Saved by a little bit Roy. A great chance for Celtic to remove all doubt that the points are staying right where they are. It was well struck by McNamara across the keeper, who made a good save. Renfern winding up for the shot, and Tom Boyd was there with immaculate timing. Going back with Kerr to cut out the pass. Agat to Lambert. Lennon to Thompson. Shot blocked by Walker. Moravchik. That was an important block from McGowan. Agatz to McNamara. Here comes Neil Lennon. Finds himself some room. It looked dramatic, but it was the stanchion behind the goal which this shot struck. And still for Lennon, just the one Celtic goal, which came at Dunfermline. Lambert's pass, chased by Agat. He's got the pace to get there. Certainly has. Thompson. Celtic misfiring as they try to get the second goal, which would round things off. Nothing to fault in the build-up, certainly. Agat so strong and so quick. And Healy's first little bit of action is to concede that free kick. McGowan with it. Well won by Lennon. Didier Agat, well struck. Struck by a Frenchman and saved by another Frenchman after Neil Lennon set things up. There's a lot of power behind this from Agat, and that's good goalkeeping from Ludovic Roy. Thompson drifts the ball in at the far post. Mjalby's header into the side net. "30 seconds left of the 90 minutes. 1 minute will be added beyond that. Vega's header flicked back to Roy by McGowan. Martin O'Neill can hardly wait, and he's in good company. Full time. Celtic are Scottish champions. Their 15th league win on the trot brings them the title. And 3 wins in a week at Aberdeen, at home to Dundee. And this win against St Mirren means Celtic are unstoppable. In Martin O'Neill's first season in charge, this is a glorious finale, and they're not finished. The League Cup is theirs. As of now, the SPL Championship is heading for the Celtic trophy room, and they're just 2 games away from Tennant Scottish Cup glory, which would give them a treble.
Congratulations. I know I've been asking you all season when the championship will be won. You will acknowledge now it's won.
It's won now. And naturally, when you see the sights that I guess, I'm delighted that we won it here today in front of our own fans rather than waiting another week or something like that, you know.
It's a very emotional sight, isn't it?
It's sensational. It's absolutely sensational, and it's really worthwhile. Do you know, when I became manager last year, and you come on to a very, very big welcome against Bordeaux in the friendly game, and to know you would never have dreamed it could end like this, and it's been fantastic. And people they can talk whatever they want. I just really want to enjoy it.
Well, all the things you've been through in the game, how does this compare?
Oh, it's right up there with anything. It's right up there with anything, honestly, without a doubt.
How have you done it, man? How have you turned this
around? You know, I know you'll not thank me for saying this, but the players have done it. They've been fantastic, honestly. No, really, really fantastic. You know, and while we're not the finished article, so hopefully we can start to improve. But they've been fantastic in games where we might have last year they said that we might have lost, we might have come out, we certainly, well, I've lost.
Is that a tear in your eye perhaps? A little bit of emotion?
I've lost it.
I think you've won it. I thought you've lost it.
Thank you very much.
And even the Celtic players who couldn't be part of the match today will certainly be part of the party. Morten Vigors, let's hope he's back to full health before too much longer. The same goes for Alan Stubbs as well, in the centre of things there.
At the end of the day, it's about winning the championship. We've done that, Paul deserved it. Thoroughly consistent throughout the season, and we're going to enjoy this one a lot longer than we did the last one.
You've got another fine season. How long can you keep this going?
Oh, everybody in the team, you know, that's, as you say, I'm sitting on the bench today, but everybody that's been a part of the club here has just performed, so it's truly a great day for us.
It's incredible. You see what it means to the supporters, don't you?
Sorry?
You can see what it means to the supporters.
Oh, of course, you know, we're in this game to win league championships, and we've done that today, and they've been fine boys all week.
You've been in a few Celtic teams, Tom. How does this lot shape up?
I think they're very solid. They're very, obviously we've got gifted players as well, but we work as a unit, and I think throughout the time I've been here, it's the most solid, most working unit, hard-working team I've ever had.
Neil, enjoying this. You don't know what it's like to win a losing Celtic team, of course.
Well, I've been lucky enough to play in this team this season. Unbelievable. Very rewarding day for all the efforts during the season, and magnificent. Can't put it into words, really.
I know you always wanted to come here. Did you think it was going to be like this?
Nah, never imagined it'd be as good as this. It's something very special to me and very personal. And when my daughter in the crowd there, it's just a great, great day, you know.
What do you think this Celtic team can achieve?
It's hard to say, like, you know, but we'll regroup again. We've got an all big game next week. You know, we really want to treble now. You know, want a wee bit of history as well. There's only one other team ever done it in Celtic's history, so I'd like a bit of that, like. So, I don't know. We'll think about it over the next couple of weeks.
These are the scenes inside the Celtic dressing room. Celtic are champions, and it's cue party time. First Saturday in April, 5 league games still left. Celtic have dominated and they've powered their way towards the title in the first season under Martin O'Neill. The champagne corks will be popping all over the east end of Glasgow tonight, and Alan Stubbs, one of the players who's missed out, and let's hope he's well on the way to recovery. Alan Stubbs spraying the camera with champagne, and the celebrations will continue long into the night. Celtic, only their second title inside 13 years, and they hope that what Martin O'Neill can now deliver is sustained success, because Celtic have had to live in the shadow of Rangers for so long. The League Cup is won, the title is now theirs, and the Scottish Cup could also be heading towards the Celtic trophy room. They're 2 games away from a clean sweep of all Scottish football's major prizes. A 1-0 win against St Mirren this afternoon, almost incidental. On the day, the championship was won.
Clearly an emotionally charged atmosphere at Parkhead after the game today. When all the excitement and dust had settled, Rob McLean spoke to both managers.
Martin, you said when you took the job this was the job of your dreams, so I suppose this has to be one of the days of your life.
Without a doubt, yeah. It is just sensational. Very hard to describe just at this minute. But I suppose when the final whistle went, 60,000 people here celebrating, and great credit to the players. But yes, you're absolutely spot on. Great day for me.
We played 3 forwards. We tried to have a go. We knew we were going to have to do our fair share of defending. We knew that our goalkeeper would have to play well on the day if we're going to get anything from the game. Most disappointing thing is we didn't score. We had a couple of chances to score first, to be honest, and it would have been interesting had we managed to score first. We didn't. And once Celtic scored the goal, you had the feeling that even if we'd equalised, they always had a wee bit in the tank to go up in the park and score again. The main thing for us is we came here and are confident. We leave here with our confidence still intact.
I know what I'll read tomorrow, that we've won the league because Rangers have been pretty poor this season. And I remember seeing a couple of seasons ago Wim Janssen, who did exceptionally well to win a title here. I think anybody wins the title deserves some sort of credit. But he had only won the title because Rangers, were preparing for the following year. So that's the nature of it. You know this here. You're damned with faint praise. It doesn't really matter. Boys have put a big effort in. It's been a great turnaround this season. I'm going to enjoy it. As I say, it may never happen again. And we'll think about European football when it comes.
It certainly was a great turnaround in the season. Jim, how important do you think it was for Celtic to wrap things up today before the split, before the semi-final of the Scottish Cup?
Well, I think it was probably more important for them to wrap up before the semi-final, because they can concentrate on winning the treble and nothing else now, because they're 2/3 of the way there. But you know, it doesn't. It wouldn't be in their minds, of course. But the split was introduced to keep our attention, to hold our attention to the end of the season. Well, in the top 6, apart from 1 or 2 European places, you're not going to be too concerned about that. It's now down to the Scottish Cup. So I don't really think it was important. I think it was just important that they clinched the title in front of their own fans, because that was an exceptional atmosphere today.
OK, let's see how they did that. It was the game today was almost incidental. People thought that this would be a barrel load of goals today, but the one goal actually won it. Tommy Johnston getting the winner. It was well,
it was a tight game.
It
was a tight game, and Larsson again involved. Didn't score any goals today, but he set it on a plate for Tommy Johnston. Wonderful first touch there from Tommy. Just took the ball across the goalkeeper and banged it under the Ludovic Roy. But again, you just look at the pace down the left-hand side. But look at Larsson. A lot of people will be thinking he's going to shoot there, but he's rolled it to Tommy Johnston. Terrible first touch across the goalkeeper. But again, the ball ends up in the net. It's so important. Tommy Johnston scored the opening goal against Dundee midweek.
He's the unlikeliest hero, though, isn't he? Because you would have expected somebody like Larsson to score that goal, but of course it's Johnston.
It could have been 1-1. St Mirren were desperate for a point, and they could have got a goal here. Fenton clearly at major fault here.
Well, he should square the ball, because there's the player running in there, McPhee. It's very fast, and he doesn't square it. And he tries that shot, and it's an awful shot as well. I mean, it's not even as though he's hitting the target. He's well off target there. You know, the manager should actually have pulled him off for that, right off the park, because that was a scandalous thing.
But that always happens when you come to Celtic Park, or even going to Ibrox, Jim. So many sides will make 1 or 2 chances, but when they make them, they've got to take them, because they're always going to be under pressure. Celtic throughout the game created 6 or 7 chances, couldn't score, but the game was always tight right up to the final whistle.
Now, I must talk now about, I mean, that game today was almost incidental. It was just another 3 points, but really we should look at the season. Let's have a look now at the defining moments of Celtic's championship season, beginning with Martin O'Neill's message to fans when he arrived a mere 10 months ago.
It's an absolute honour for me to be the manager here. I'm telling you that now. It's an absolute honour. No, honestly, it is an honour. And at the end of the day, I will do everything I possibly can to bring some success here to the football.
You just feel when Martin came to the club that the first message he was putting out, he wanted to close the gap in Rangers, he wanted to catch up. Such a vast points difference at the end of last season. And then you get into the first game of the season, very important, away at Tannadice there. There's Henrik Larsson starting off the season the way he continued throughout the whole campaign, scoring a goal.
And Chris Sutton was one of the first buys in from Chelsea, £6 million. And immediately he made an impact as well, scoring a goal in that first game also on the 30th of July.
Well, it's so important for Chris Sutton, because he had a torrid time down at Chelsea, wasn't scoring any goals. All of a sudden he's got a £6 million move up to Scotland, and there we are, there's the ball, banged across, and that's a Chris Sutton goal for all season, 2 yards out. He's just reacting quicker than any defender and knocking the ball in. He's been a great buy this season for them.
Some of the other buys they've had, well, let's have a look at this. This is the 6-2 game right at the start, on the 27th of August. Sutton again getting on the goals there. You got a couple in this game. We weren't expecting that kind of result, Jim.
No, we weren't. I mean, we've had some high-scoring Old Firm matches in the last 5 years in particular. But I mean, that 6-2 that game, you know, it was a phenomenal result for Celtic. And they would have thought then that, you know, they were going to cruise to the title. Well, they have in the end. But I think they had a rude awakening just after this. But I mean, they were exceptionally good that day.
Yeah, but I think
this is a great goal as well.
Wonderful chip here. But I think what happened that day, though, Jim, the Celtic players have looked at it and saying, well, we're better than Rangers. We can go and handle them now. It's never happened in the past. And all of a sudden, to score 6 goals against them in the first Old Firm game of the season, the confidence factor went through the roof.
But at Ibrox, of course, Rangers said, well, you're not better than us, because they went on to win 5-1.
Well, I think you've got to give Rangers an awful lot of credit, because they were under pressure then. They weren't playing so well, and Flo's arrived at Ibrox. They've paid so much money for him.
Yeah, well, if you look at that goal Flo scored there, that flick, it was really quick reactions, you know, which you thought there would be a lot more of that. Didn't happen. But there's Michael Moles, the player that they've missed badly, obviously, because they've never been able to replace him. They brought Flo in, of course, but £12 million for Torrendry Flo at this stage seems an awful waste.
This is a game on the 10th of December, a horrible night up in Dundee. a game perhaps that Celtic in the past would have drawn or even lost, but that was a 94th minute goal from Agat.
Well, you'll look throughout the season and you'll always look at the Old Firm games first to see how the results went. But this is one game, I was up there and Dundee were the far better side. They outplayed Celtic the second half, similar to the game on Wednesday night. But again, Celtic stayed at it for the full 90 minutes and Agat scored late on. Here's another one, the start of that game after the winter shutdown. A terrible night through in Edinburgh against Hearts, who are wanting to go and impress the new manager, and there's Larsson out getting a hat-trick.
Now, Jim, you would have commented about this game. Larsson really wasn't in the game yet. He scored a hat-trick.
No, he had a quiet game that night. You know, it sounds ridiculous to say, you know, as he completes his hat-trick there, but three players around him, he still scores. It seems ridiculous to say that he had a quiet night, but 3 goals is phenomenal in any game. But, you know, he didn't do a great deal, but 3 chances and he took all 3 of them.
And this is the game here that many said was the title decider on the 11th of February. Celtic winning 1-0 against Rangers at Parkhead. Again, a Thompson goal.
Well, Larsson again involved, just coming in from that same side as a goal today, but Alan Thompson didn't score so many goals this season. A lot of people felt early on when he signed, wonderful striker of the ball, you felt he'd have scored an awful lot more goals, but such an important goal. But you just feel after that game that was Rangers' title challenge gone.
Yeah. Now, Murdo, you were assistant head coach 3 years ago when Celtic last won the title. How do you think this compares to that championship?
I think it's a wee bit different. 3 years ago it was to try and stop Rangers winning 10 in a row, and it was right up to the last game of the season, so there was pressure on the St Johnstone game. Rangers were winning up at Tannadice, but I think this one, with 6 games to go, you've got a chance to win it. But I think all the fans, they all know that Martin O'Neill's going to be there next season, because there was already talk that Wim Jansen was going to leave, wasn't happy with the situation at Celtic Park. But everyone knows for the future now, Martin O'Neill's going to be there. You just feel he's going to bring in 1 or 2 more players with the squad he's got and go and have a wee go next season. But I'm sure tonight he'll not be thinking about next season. He'll be going and enjoying his evening.
Yeah, it certainly is party time this evening. Now, another piece of business that had to be settled today was who was going to be playing their final 5 games in the top 6. Dunfermline needed only a draw away